Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Tuesday, October the 9th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning, we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create multiple trade plans. We do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we have a plan in place, wait for the market to open up, and then see who takes control and then execute the trade plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and we do live trading and analysis during the course of the RTH trading session. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, your own risk metrics. Man, I could say that in my sleep now after all these years. So, take a look at yesterday. Yesterday was Canadian Thanksgiving, so I really didn't do much trading. I did a couple trades, but that was it. But we opened auction inside of range, inside of value from Friday. We rotated back up towards the close. Seller stepped in, and then we went down and put a new month low in at 28.66. Chopped around in this 66, creating a lower distribution. It's kind of a double distribution, but this part of the distribution right here between 89 and 78 is very blunt, and I'm anticipating that we could get stuck in this area this morning as we fill in this distribution. They put in the higher low, and then we get the breakout of the downward channel, and then we get this rally like we've been seeing. We saw the same thing happen a couple times lately, where they had this strong push down and then a very strong move up into the close with very large lots doing most of the lifting. Notice that we are getting expanded ranges now. The average true range is starting to expand now, up to 2286 for the daily full session ATR. Remember, whenever we see OTF activity, especially in the Globex, it's generally going to be coincided with vertical development. So something to keep an eye out, that as the volatility increases, the ranges increase because we have OTF activity. And you can see that the black outlines being the 20 period session volume, average volume. You can see that we've got OTF pretty much heavily involved yesterday. And then if you look at the overnight session so far, you can see that, just expand this out so you can see this. You can see that we have OTF activity, especially once we get into the European session. And there's over 219,000 contracts traded in the Globex. The average is about 110. So you can see that we do have very much OTF activity. We closed the last session as a neutral day. Did not go neutral extreme, which was surprising. We did get the shift of the VPOC up into the close, so the probability was that we should see some expansion, and yet we only expanded the range by one tick, and they were unable to get outside of outside of yesterday. And what did they do? They rotated all the way back down and go and put a low in. This is a fairly weak low down here at the 74.50, but it's also a weak high at 94.25. So it's going to be an interesting session. Let's take a look at the news. We don't have a lot of news. We had housing starts in Canada. We're down 188, expected 210. We've got Red Book month over month, year over year. That's not really a mover. 10 o'clock, we've got Chicago Fed Evans speaking, and then at 10:35, we've got Broadbent. So this week they're lining up the speakers again, like they did last week. 11:30, we've got the 3-week, 4-week, and 52-week and 6-month bill auction. And then Bank of Canada Governor Council member Wilkins is speaking at 2 o'clock. Other than that, it's basically going to be headline news and what's going on in the market. So just pay attention. It is Tuesday. We could see turnaround Tuesday. We'll wait to see if the buyers take control early. Now, each day I'd like to start my day with the same exercise. I start with a simple candlestick chart, and I start on a monthly, and I start working my way down. Why do I do this? I do this because I want to make sure that each day I'm in tune with where we are in terms of the trend in the bigger picture. And I start on the monthly and I work my way down. What I'm looking for is slope and separation. Strength of the trend is price paralleling the 9 nicely. I use a 9 EMA, 20 SMA on all my charts. We had 14 months of one-time framing up. February, we violated that one-time framing, and it looked like they were going to break it down, but they are unable to get below the 9 EMA and close below it. And then we get the continuation pattern, and we go and make new all-time highs. The all-time highs are unadjusted, but they're only 2 ticks apart. 29.47 in the Globex, 29.4650 in the RTH. But we're nowhere close to violating the trend. Even with this move down into the 2800s, our monthly trend doesn't get challenged until we get into the 2796 area. So still, about 100 points below us, 90 points below us, thereabouts. Going to the weekly. The weekly, a little bit of a different story. We had the FUBAR technical, Mr. Sneaky technical gap. They came down and closed the gap at the end of the month. Now they're struggling to hold the 9, and right now we're trading just below the 9 EMA, which is sitting up there at the 87, 86 area. And we just made a new low. So we violated the one-time framing up. Now we're starting to one-time frame down on the weekly. So we are seeing some weakness, but the trend doesn't get violated on the weekly until we get below get violated below the 28.38. Going to the daily. The daily, you can see that even though we've had these strong buying wicks, buying tails, whatever you want to call them, we're still one-time framing down. And we do have a naked cross up here at the 29.1350 area, but right now we've got lower highs and lower lows. So today, if we do see a turnaround Tuesday, we could see the high from yesterday broken at 98.25 and a retest up into the 9 EMA if we see a turnaround Tuesday. Right now, the one-time framing is down, so we have to pay attention to that and watch for the breakout and the violation of this one-time framing down. Going to the intraday, you see that we've got good slope, good separation. Last 3 RTH sessions, very strong move down, good slope, good separation, failure to get and hold above the 9 EMA, and here we are trading below it. A move up to test it would take us up to the 87.50 area, and that would still not violate the downward trend that we're seeing. And then just going to the 30-minute, we have had a downward trend, and now we're trying to break above the 9 and hold above this 80 area is likely going to give us a move up into the 85 area, and then possible trend change back to the upside if we get a turnaround Tuesday. Taking a look at this structurally, you can see that we're still inside of the balance that we've been in since the 08 24th, and we're just still chopping. It's pretty blunt still. This is all new territory, and we're just exploring, above and below, but still inside of this balance. We're currently trading just inside the 3-day microcomposite value area, which is at 2880. The 3-day VPOC is up at 28.90.75, but the big one is that 94.25. We touched it yesterday. We touched it in the Globex, and so far they've been unable to get above it. I'm using 85 as my over underline. I'll show you why. You could use 78. Both areas are important, but there's more confluence for me in the 85 level, and I think we could see some chopping, between that 87 and that 78. So I'm watching that carefully. The next big destination down, if we can't hold inside of value, is the 63.25. Our month low and week low right now is at 66, so we didn't quite get down there yesterday before the buyers stepped in. If we can get back up in this area and accept this value, the 3 days and the longer time frame price acceptance at the 94.25, 94.50, then we could rotate up and test the 2900 again and take a trip through value, which would take us up into the 2908 area. There's still a lot of repair work above. I don't think that that this is the beginning of a bigger move down. I think this is a natural pullback, and you can see by the way that the large lots are buying all these dips. They're buying very aggressive lifting of the offer. So the inventory overnight is pretty much 100% net short. So we're looking for some balancing. You can see that we've got a double distribution going overnight, and that's that 84.50, and then we've got the 85 area. So I'm using this area right here, the 85. Actually, it's really 84 to 86. It's pretty wide as my over and underline, because if we get above that, we're going to be above the LVN of the overnight session, the mid, the VWAP, and put us into the upper distribution. And then I'm looking for that move up into the 89.75, naked VPOC that's up there. It doesn't show naked in here because it's the Globex. We have to go up and test it. And that was shifted from the 71 into the close with that strong buying and lifting that came in. So our overnight high, 94.25, overnight low, 74.50. Our average true range is running at 22.86, so off of the bottom. Our upside daily ATR target is 97.25. Our downside daily ATR target is 71.25. This is important right here, gang. This is where the VPOC was for a good portion of the day yesterday before they shifted it up in the close. So if we fail to get above the 85 and then break below the 78, this is your target. This will be your main target for one of our main hypos. If we get above, then the main target is going to be up here at the 28.90, with 94 being the extended target. Anything above that, we could see a trend type scenario set up where we get back into the 2900s. So in terms of the VPOC overnight is 28.81. So and we're just getting a close right now above the upper Keltner. Watch to see if we put in a zipper measured move here. If we put in a zipper measured move, we've got to. I'm just gonna draw it for just to see what it would be if it sets up. It's not valid yet. and we don't know if it will set up, but I'm just curious. And look at that, where the target is 28.90. So, but we are seeing some buying stepping in again in the 70s. So in terms of hypotheses, because we're one time framing down, my main hypothesis is going to be a balancing day with a downward drift, but equally weighted is going to be a balancing day with an upward drift. And because of the context, again, we have to put equal weight, wait to see who takes control early. And then remember, just because it looks like it's going to be an uptrend or a downtrend, we've seen the opposing force stepping in, in the afternoon and just taking the move that was made in the morning right back. So don't get stubborn, because you can see that if you look at the average rotations, where's my average rotations? Yesterday were 6 and 5 1/4, so fairly large rotations. We had some big rotations: 13 1/4 points, 8, 18 and a half, 7, 7 1/4, 9, 10 and a half, 11 1/4. So you don't want to get stuck in a trade and have to take that type of heat, trying to fade a move. So just be diligent today and the rest of the week as the volatility starts to creep in, to not get caught and get stubborn in a trade. So in terms of hypotheses, my main hypothesis, because it's a open, a one-time framing down, I'm looking for an open auction in range. I'm looking for a move up into this 28.90 to 28.94, a false breakout, and then I'm looking for sellers to step in, rotate us down, chop between the 85 and the 78, and then fail the 78 and push down into the 71 and start basing down here, but closing lower, okay, as we continue to one-time frame. We might even see the 66 as a late-day probe taken out and pushed down into the 63, and that would continue the one-time framing down. That is hypo 1. Hypo 2 is an open auction in range. Take back Tuesday, a move down to take out the overnight low, possibly push down to the 71, but find buyers and then rotate us up through the 90, the 85 up into the 90, which is our main target, and extended target at 94, and then continue up and push up into testing the 2900 and then coming back down and closing somewhere here in the 90 to 94 area. That is hypo 2. Hypo 3 is a liquidation, open auction, failure to take out the Globex high. Sellers take control early, move us down into the 71 to 66 area, chop in here, push through the 63, and then come down and push down into this 55 to 50 area, and closing lower as we continue this pullback. That is hypo 3. Hypo 4 is a trend up, and that is an open test drive. Failure to take out the overnight low, find buyers, initiative buyers right away. Well, they'll be responsive really, but push up through into the 94, chop between the 90 and the 97 area, and then push up and come up into testing Friday's high up here in the 2914 area, and basically going sideways and closing back up inside of the 2900. The fifth alternative is we have an inside day. We had fairly decent range, and we could see us just chop inside of the value area between 94 and 74, and just filling in this blunt area of the profile from yesterday. So just basically going sideways. That's the fifth alternative. Taking a look at gold. Gold has broken. It did not give us our leg up. Now we're coming down to challenge this fractal low at the 84.30. It's starting to look weak again. And if we can't get above this 1190, I'm looking for this 84.30 to be challenged, and then possibly anything below this 1180. I'd be looking for a liquidation down into the 1167 area. But if we can hold and get above this 1190, a push up to test the highs and a possible move up into the testing the 1200 again. I don't see gold getting a lot of strength today. That was a pretty big down day that we had yesterday in gold, and it's failed to hold the 1200s yet again. So they come down near the low again. It doesn't look like they're really finding their buyers, and we're likely to continue the price discovery down to see if we can find some buyers lower. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.